crossing guard, but at that time in DeKalb County, Georgia, you had to actually join the police force to be a crossing guard. So she wore a beautiful navy skirt police officer uniform when she went to direct traffic. It was I think it was 5-way intersection. But anyway, so she, while she never took on any other role at the police department, she did join the pistol team. And she became quite proficient with a large .44 caliber weapon that she kept with her most of her life. And I have to say that even though she wasn't an actual police officer, she handled herself in a way that brings that uniform to mind when I think of her. I'd like to share a few of the memories that I have so you can see my mother through my eyes for a moment. When I was in the 3rd grade, I found myself in a classroom with a rather abusive teacher. She had a habit of throwing erasers and sharpened pencils at her students. She made children touch their toes until they passed out. She even locked children in the coat closet. I started to, instead of telling my mother, which would have been the smart thing to do, I started pretending sickness. And so I could stay home from school. But Charlie didn't take him long to figure it out. And so he told on me. So after I ended up telling my mom what was going on, and the next day she went to the principal's office and she got it straightened out. But that wasn't the end of it for her. She didn't just tell them it needed to stop. From then on, I saw my mom at that school at the oddest moments. I would look up in class and she would be in the window. Already walking in line down the hall to either PE or the lunchroom, and there she was, just standing in the hallway. She didn't stop to talk, she just waved. And she made sure that the school's word was not good enough for her. She wanted to know I was safe. She was an enforcer. My mother worked at Marshall's retail store for a long time, and once she was coming to work, and she saw a very, very large man spanking a small child with a belt in front of the store on the sidewalk. He had the child held up by one arm, and he was just really going at it. She, without even thinking, walked up, pulled the child away from the man, and said, "How would you like to be beaten with a belt?" And she lectured the man. The security actually came out of the store. They were scared for her. But she lectured the man until he apologized not only to my mom, but to the child. She was a strong woman. After I moved away from home, my mom spent a lot of evenings alone because of my dad's work hours. When she'd come home from work, she would be there alone until he got home after midnight. One afternoon, she was there and she heard gunshots outside of the apartment. She looked outside to see one of her neighbors being shot by her estranged husband. Their elementary age student was standing there and actually witnessed and was left screaming over her mother's body. My mother, boldly, without knowing where the gunman was, stepped out of the apartment, grabbed the child, and brought her inside, and kept her there until the police had found her right. She was protected. When my nephew Stan was ill with complications from the AIDS virus, she took him in and cared for him for a long stretch of time. I remember her taking him down to Grady Hospital for his medical treatments. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Grady Hospital, but it's in a very dangerous area of Atlanta, and there's little security in the hospital. It's a scary place to be. A few times I was there, there were homeless people sleeping under the chairs in the waiting room, and there were men handcuffed to beds in narrow hallways where they could actually reach out and grab you as you walked down the hall. My mom took him there without any fear, and one day as she was walking onto an elevator, a man bumped into her and kept walking. She looked down and saw that her wallet was gone, and she turned and chased this man through the halls of Grady Hospital until she had him cornered and demanded her wallet back, not even considering that he could have had a knife or a gun. He gave her, reluctantly, he gave it back to her. Then she went without a security guard and helped the security guard put the man down again so that he could be arrested. She was fearless. So I was glad to step in and be that for her. I held her arm every time we walked out of the house. She never walked without somebody holding her arm and helping her every step of the way, except for the one time she didn't tell us she was going to the trash. It fell. When she feared the world, she no longer had control over